Magik, issue number 8 from Marvel Comics. So we got 2 more issues after this to go. Apparently Magik is going to end at issue number 10. So let's see how they go down the final stretch. We start off with some guy proposing to his girlfriend, and that's when Magik shows up, and she basically teleports, tackles the guy out of the Ferris wheel, and just kind of sends him through limbo. And she's trying to interrogate him. She's trying to get him to answer where the Scarlet Eye's base is. And she just basically just keeps teleporting him over and over and over again to different places until finally they land on the ground. We have, I think it's kind of a cool moment where Magik is going to shove this demon worm into this guy's mouth and says that it's going to basically burrow itself into your conscious thought until you can't discern up from down. And it's a very painful process. So you might want to talk before I do this. It reminds me very much of, I think it's Night Gallery. There's this episode that's like buried into my mind, which is very ironic because the episode is about this worm that digs itself into your head. Basically, like it eats your brain from the inside out. And this guy, he has it in his ear, and he basically goes through agonizing pain. But somehow he's able to survive. And so he thinks, okay, it's over. Like, it's done. Like, that sucked. It got to the point where I wanted to off myself, but I'm still alive. And then the twist ending is that the doctor tells him this thing was pregnant and it laid eggs in your head. That has always stuck with me. I don't know. For some reason, this like little worm thing just kind of reminded me of that. Eventually, Cal, or I guess Liminal, who's taking over Cal's body, starts talking with Magik, is saying, you know, you could just ask me, and if you remove my bindings, I can help you find the location. And Magik starts arguing with him because Magik doesn't want to make another deal with him. And as they're arguing, Danny basically interrogates the guy and is able to get the location. So they just teleport to the location. And I don't know what this moment was supposed to be, where we just have Liminal and he's like drawing symbols on a wall, and Magik is like, knock that off, what are you doing? Magik is like, do you think I'm an idiot? Like, I saw you just draw something, what are you up to? And he's like, I didn't draw anything, why would I lie about this? And it's like, dude, she's literally staring at you as you're drawing this. I bring this up because later on we get a moment where Liminal is like, have I ever lied to you? It's like, yeah, you literally just did earlier. Right here, you're lying. Later on, you're gonna ask Magik, have I ever lied to you? Magik should have just been like, yeah, you literally just did 5 minutes ago. But she doesn't. So, yeah, I don't know why they had that little moment. But they sneak into this building, and they see a bunch of people down there, like, making drugs or whatever. And Magik and Danny jump down to go attack, when all of a sudden they find themselves trapped in some kind of weird illusion. And the art style gets all weird. I like the fact that the art style changes for the enemies and stuff like that. Like, they look kind of weird. They look kind of like doodles that are colored. I wouldn't say that Magik and Danny and Cal look all that better. I'm not really too big a fan of the artwork in this issue, but I do like the change there, at least with the illusions. Here's the thing that doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm going to show you just a couple panels of the fight with the illusions. Pay close attention to the weapons that these villains are wielding. You can see that they're holding like bones, they're holding ice picks, they have cleavers. Keep that in mind. So throughout all this, Danny and Magik are basically kind of arguing with each other. They're constantly fighting about like how are they going to go about stopping this illusion. They don't even know if the illusion is magical in the sense that like the illusion is here, but are they physical? Like, can we physically interact with these illusions? Because when we try shooting them, it just goes right through them. So are we like actually fighting things that are real, or is it just in our heads? Because the things are able to attack us. So they're fighting about like how are they going to stop it. But eventually they come up with a plan where Cal just says, hey, Danny, like, you're able to use your powers to manifest fears, right? Well, my fear is being trapped. Why don't you manifest my fear? We'll have ourselves trapped in this room with these guys, and I guess doing that cancels out the magic. And remember when I said that they were all using melee weapons? Well, as you can see here, only 2 of them are, and the rest of you using guns. Why didn't these guys just shoot Danny and Magik? Danny and Magik can't see their weapons, apparently. Like I said, if you saw the panels, you saw them holding melee weapons. They were holding bones, ice picks, cleavers. As you can see here, None of them are holding a bone, none of them are holding an ice pick, none of them are holding a cleaver. 2 of them are holding blades, but none of the 2 blades are any of the items that we saw earlier. And we saw more than 2 people holding melee weapons, which means that in the illusion, Danny and Magik saw their guns as melee weapons as well. So why in the real world didn't they just shoot Danny and Magik? They wouldn't be able to see the bullets, so they wouldn't be able to dodge. This whole fight didn't make any sense to me. It would have made a lot more sense if in the illusion we saw them like, I don't know, maybe they had like staffs or whatever and they're shooting magic spells, and in real life it's bullets. Or if they all just had melee weapons in real life, so that in the illusion they all had melee weapons too. But the fact that they have guns, and not once do any of them ever use it, I don't know, why didn't you if you're trying to kill these people? But yeah, Magik starts disappearing people from this trapped room, and so they start freaking out and trying to escape. And Magik just takes out each one by one until there's only one guy left. And then Danny cancels the fear room, and then it's just one dude just laying here. So where did all the other guys go? Was it always just the one dude? Did Magik, when she was pulling out all the other guys, did she like dump them somewhere? We don't see any of their collapsed bodies anywhere. I don't know, I thought that was kind of weird. But Danny and Magik decide to have a talk, and they start crying. Or at least Danny starts crying and they hug it out and stuff. Whatever. At least they're communicating. Like, that's one thing that just bugs the crap out of me. One of the tropes I hate the most in any kind of story is something that can be easily fixed if the characters just talked. They just talk to each other. But instead they don't. So you get a bunch of misunderstandings and you get fights, and it's drama that gets extended when it shouldn't. So unnecessary drama annoys the hell out of me. I get that it happens in real life, but it's boring, and I feel like it's a cheap excuse in writing. So I'm glad that we didn't draw this out here. I'm glad that they actually just communicated and fixed all their issues. I think it's mostly because this series is only going to get 2 more issues after this, so we kind of have to like speed run towards the ending. I'm assuming that maybe they were going to drag this out more. I don't know. This is just me guessing. But whatever. I like that they just talked it out, and they're on the same wavelength now. Cal brings up the fact that, hey, isn't it weird how we had all these people we had to fight and stuff, and they only sent you 2? And Magik is even like, yeah, like back when I was leading a team in Krakoa, like, I would have more people with me. It seems weird that the society sent just us. And it's only me and you, Danny, because Cal, like, obviously we can't really trust him because he's liminal. We're just here to kind of babysit him. But it's just weird how it's just the 2 of us. And they threw us into this mission where it kind of seems like a suicide mission. And they go in and they see the guy who was creating the illusions, and they basically talk to him. And he basically tells them that my informants told me that they were finally in Vegas. I lured you here so I could kill you before you could kill me. And we have an agreement. They left me alone for so long. Magik looks around and realizes that all the technology around them is the same technology that the society has. So she's basically believing that the society that Danny is a part of is purposely sending them on these missions to try to get them killed so that they can get rid of Cal, because they were trying to kill him, I guess, before. Even though they just basically locked him in a room. They had the chance to kill him, but they didn't. It wasn't until Magik showed up that they thought, okay, now maybe we should kill him. But then Magik got involved, and now they're like, okay, we won't kill him. If you think there's a way to save him, then, you know, take him with you and take Danny with you, and here's a mission I need you to take where we think that if you succeed in this mission, you might have clues on how to save Cal. But it looks like maybe they were actually doing this to try to put them in a situation where they wouldn't be able to survive, and they would all 3 of them just get wiped out. So it looks like the final arc is leading into Danny and Magik against the society. I guess we'll find out. That's Magik issue number 8. It was okay, I guess. I'm not a fan of this artwork. I don't know if it's the same artist or if it's a new artist. Like, previous artwork didn't seem to be this, I don't want to say terrible, because that sounds kind of mean, but it's not good. I don't care for this art style whatsoever, especially with the faces. It just looks really off. I did like the artwork for the fight scenes. Like, not the actual way that the fights were drawn, but I just like the way that the villains looked in the illusion. Like, that was nice, but everything else, I don't really care for the style. I also, again, just have problems with Cal, or I should say Liminal. Again, there's a part where he's trying to convince Magik that the society is trying to kill them, and it's starting to make sense. Liminal actually says, "Have I ever lied to you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you did. You did earlier when you were drawing magic signals on a wall, and Magik was literally watching you do it. And then when she asked why you're doing that, you said, "I'm not doing anything. I wasn't drawing anything." It's like you literally lied right there. So I would have just not have that scene. Because then later on, when Liminal says, "Have I ever lied to you?" there wouldn't be just, I can't just go back and be like, "Yeah, literally 5 minutes ago you did." I also just, again, think that the whole fight scene itself, why didn't the villains use guns when they had guns? Yeah, some of it is just, I get what the writer's trying to do. Some of it works, but some of it doesn't work either. So I thought this was kind of a mid issue, which is kind of a shame. I've been enjoying this run so far. It's kind of like a low point in this series. Hopefully the next one will pick up. But yeah, there you go. There's Magik issue number 8. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.